podcast with producer Matt Stoker. I'm your host, Michelle Welch.
And I'm your host, Roger Welch. So what's up today, Michelle?
Well, today we have one of my favorite people with us.
Me?
Yeah, well, you and
I'm
Matt
always here.
are here, but remotely with us we have Laura Pace. Do you want to tell them a little bit about Laura? Hi, Laura.
Hi.
You want to introduce her?
Well, hi, Laura. Tell us about you.
Aw.
People know Laura because she's been on the show before, but what they probably don't know is Laura went back to the corporate world for a little while.
Yeah, not for a little while. She was out of the corporate world for a little while and went back, right, Laura?
That's right.
So,
Am I on mute? I'm not on mute anymore, am I?
no,
No,
Can you
you're
hear me?
with us.
Okay, good.
you're live.
Yes,
Don't say
I have gone
anything
back to
bad.
the corporate world.
Tell us what you've been
True.
doing.
Oh, so I have been working for a large technology provider. Kind of what I have done the past 25 years or so, working with clients in the retail and consumer products industry. And it's a very demanding job. And I have two small children. I have 3-year-old twins. So it's a lot. It's a lot to balance the job and the kids, and now with COVID, and then also kind of balance my personal life as well. So I'm no longer at Soultopia, but I'm still a friend of Soultopia, like on the Real Housewives. I'm not a housewife anymore. I'm a friend of the housewives.
Oh, exactly. Exactly. I love that. Well, I always never knew how you did it anyway before you went back to your huge, and you guys, I just want you to know, she doesn't have like a little kind of job. She has like
Lots of responsibilities.
lots of responsibilities with her corporate job that she took. Laura's kind of a big deal in
Oh, you're
her
sweet.
world, and so she went back to that, and so that was a big loss for us. For one thing, we just don't get to see her as much because she was on the show a lot, right?
Yeah.
And in the store, and she's a reader. She's in the store. You see her. I love your sign. That I'm familiar with that office. This is in your house, and
Yes,
yeah, the red room. So
the red room. That's
So-
right.
So when
My
you do,
Halloween-filled room.
so when you do your corporate meetings on Zoom, are you sitting right there with that big old reader sign in the back?
So it's funny that you ask that, Roger, just because I recently got a new desk, and it's now positioned here where it used to be facing the window, and you couldn't really see any of my office. And so I've been looking at green screens today, so I can put a green screen behind me and block, the inner sanctum, and have one of those faux backdrops
Very
that
smart.
they have on Zoom. So I mean, it's kind of, it's innocent to me, but some other folks, it's not very professional, no. So that's kind of like having to balance, who I am and my job, and the expectations around being professional, and maintaining that image. So it's not always easy. But now I have this new configuration in my office. I have to figure something out because you guys can see it, but it's not really great for a web conference.
Right.
So
correct. And you do a lot of web conferences now, right?
yeah, I do. 99% of my day from about 7 a.m. until 5 o'clock are all conference calls. So not all of them are video. A lot of customer-facing ones are video, but my internal ones are just conference calls, and it's like death by 1,000 paper cuts.
Oh,
Just all
man.
these calls.
Would
So-
it have been that way before? If no COVID, would your job be the same, or would you be traveling more?
I would be traveling more. So I'm grateful to be able to stay home. But the conference calls, I feel like we've kind of gotten into this culture now where everything is, let's have a call. Let's have a
Yeah.
call about the meeting, or a meeting about the meeting, and it's just exhausting. At the end of the day, I'm so tired, I don't even want to talk.
Yeah.
But I feel like, yeah, there's definitely more of it. This is the most I've ever been on the phone in my whole career. So
Oh,
it's
wow.
crazy. Plus, my client is in another state. So I couldn't even drive to see them if I wanted to. I'd have to fly, which is
Yeah.
not practical right now.
Right. Wow. Yeah, I remember I used to kind of laugh at where my kids went to school and where they went to church up here in town, and you know it. I just won't say the name of
Yeah.
it, but they had literally a committee called the Committee on Committees. Literally, there was a committee called the Committee on Committees.
Yeah.
And you could get on that committee, and you would literally be the Committee on Committees.
On all the committees.
Yeah.
Yep, that's about right.
In
So
charge of all committees.
there would be a committee that just was meet to govern all the committees. So it was the same thing. It was like a phone, the same thing as you were saying. You have to have a phone call about the meeting,
Right.
So-
It's mind numbing.
Yeah.
So
Well, so what do you think because first of all, you guys, her house is one of the coolest houses because she has,
thank you.
it's decorated beautifully, lots of color.
Yeah.
A decorator that we went and talked to that Laura uses said Laura is not afraid of color at all. That he enjoys working with her because she's not afraid. Now, you used him to get a lot of furniture, but he is a decorator also.
Yeah.
And he said, I loved them because they're not afraid of furniture. I mean, excuse me,
Yeah.
furniture, of color. But you also have, you're perfect for the shows about macabre things. And I know that's not what we're talking about tonight, but you went to you didn't go to a macabre conference this weekend, but tell us about the conference you went to this weekend.
We just went to the Haunters convention here in it was in Mesquite, and to me it was just for there was a lot of costumes and a few like comic book artists and a lot of kind of monster horror paraphernalia, and then there was one psychic, and she was interesting, but it was mostly like just kind of creepy monster paraphernalia, lots of costumes. It looks like there was supposed to be a lot more booths, but I think with COVID, it really kind of, they were only like, I bet like at 50% of what they would have been, because like this is one of the catalogs I picked up. There, it's called Fright Props, and it's for people who have haunted houses. So I think it was a lot of merchandise that was geared towards, folks that have haunts, their own haunts and things like that. So it was cool. There's several. There's one coming up in September. I can't remember which one it is, but we're going to go to that one as well. So, but it was unfortunate that, there wasn't as many booths that there could have been.
Right.
And we had to wear our masks the whole time, and
Yeah.
it's crazy.
I saw they already canceled Screams for this year. Did you get that email?
They already canceled what?
Screams, the haunted houses and stuff.
Oh, no.
They've already canceled it
That's
for this
terrible.
year.
Yeah.
We're going to have to make our own Halloween.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. You have the best Halloween parties, so at
Yeah.
your house. But yeah, so her Laura, back to her house, just because it ties into what we're talking about tonight. She has a lot of interesting curiosities. Last week we talked about oddities, curiosities. We actually bid Laura on. We had fake money here on the show, the three of us, and we bid on things like embalming tables.
Oh.
Wooden embalming. You would have loved
Cool.
it. So you need to watch that show.
Yeah.
I spent my money well. I was negotiating with the fake. Well, I was negotiating with the fake dealers that weren't even existing, because I just assumed they would, maybe go half price on all their items. But anyway, I think Roger spent the most money.
Of course, but I got the most product.
Yeah, and he thought maybe we would put the embalming table here and use it.
Oh, yeah.
It's a wooden embalming table. So what is the most interesting oddity that you've collected?
I think my favorite thing I have right now is something I bought a few weeks ago off of a place on Facebook called Haunted Bazaar. And it's a porcelain nun doll, like a little miniature nun. And she's from the 20s. She's from Germany. and she's got a little miniature rosary on it. And I think what my favorite thing about it is how we kind of have it displayed in this case and it's lit. It looks really good, but it's one of my favorite things. I think it's my new favorite so far.
Yeah.
But it's super old, and it's just really charming. It's very odd. I have never seen, outside of the Madame Alexandra dolls, I've never really seen like a nun doll.
Yeah.
And my husband was like, "Do we really want that in the living room?" And I said, "Absolutely, we want it in the living room. It's creepy." It was something that would scare the shit out of me when I was a little kid.
Yeah. But your
and
girls
I think that's why I like it so much.
Yeah, the girls aren't going to be scared of anything. You've got it
No,
all.
they're not going to be scared of anything.
They're growing up in the, and I'm kidding, but the House of Horrors there.
Yeah.
And you got a new cat. Well, we will get to our topic, but tell us about Cleopatra.
Cleo, she's the sequel to Caesar, my dear dog who passed away in March. So I named her Cleopatra, but she's a little Scottish fold and just the little light of my life right now. She's very sweet, very calming. I haven't had a cat in a really long time, and I forgot how calming it is to have a cat, especially a little kitten. But it really reduces a lot of stress, especially at night when I get in bed and she curls up in my lap and I can really kind of put the day behind me. But I really love having her, so she's really cute. She has her own Instagram page.
Oh, yeah. Well, she deserves it. She's not only is she really cute, you were, I mean, with all the other things you do, an animal photographer. And
I was, yeah, in the
pretty
past.
well known, right? And in the past, and was it L.A. or San Francisco?
San Francisco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when Laura, when Roger, did I tell you this? When she showed me her work, I was like, damn, you're the real deal. You're good. What don't you do? She does everything. So what do you use to bring I know you love grids, crystal grids, manifestation grids. You believe in them. You know they work. Have you used those for your work and your job at all?
Yeah, absolutely. I mentioned to Roger earlier that I just got a new desk and kind of reconfigured my office, and I have some of my crystals over here on my desk. Michelle, I don't know if you remember, you bought this for me when we were out shopping one day. It's a little horse.
Yeah.
A little malachite horse.
Yeah. So cute.
So I have that on my desk. I have a little bit of a grid going here, just for luck, because I'm in sales, and it's Q2, and I need a lot of help on, closing deals. So I have my little malachite horse. I have my little citrine tower from Soultopia. And I have this you gave to me. I don't know if you remember giving this to me when we graduated from crystal class.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah.
That one's pretty.
Fluorite. So I put that on my desk so I can concentrate. And then I have a little apophyllite iceberg right here.
Yeah.
Just to help me with my intuition and kind of higher thinking, problem solving, just trying to figure things out. And then I have this. These are all from Soultopia, by the way. Not to plug the store, but I am.
Go right ahead.
And then I have my little petrified wood here, my little miniature tree that I got at Soultopia. Just to kind of I feel like this keeps me grounded.
Yeah.
And just reminds me kind of where I came from and who I am. So it's so easy to get caught up in the day-to-day and sales and just the rush of it all. And I feel like it really kind of reminds me where I've come from.
Yeah.
So I have a little power grid going on over here, just the critical things that I need throughout the day to kind of rejuvenate me, keep me going, keep me focused, and bring me luck, quite frankly.
Well,
so,
can you?
That's cool.
Do you want to know why I gave her fluorite?
Why?
Can you guess?
To keep her focused?
No.
Oh.
The opposite. Because it's more about, it is about focus, but it's about organization too.
Oh.
And she's super organized. I mean, listen, she is the twins. They're there. And she's nonplussed, right? I mean, she's just sitting there talking, and she's calm, and she's carrying on. And she can knock out what would take me a week to do.
So she's
in
good
a
at
graphic-
multitasking it.
She's amazing. And that's why, so I need the fluorite to help me be focused. I gave it to her because it represents her personality. She is. I mean, she can multitask. She can just, you're very good at that. You kind of have to be,
thank
though,
you.
don't you?
Thank you.
You kind of have to be good at it, I think.
Yeah. So I think it, I mean, honestly, it's kind of a dichotomy, right? It's just a very technical job. Plus, I have kind of my old roots in the crystals, and the power and energy that I feel like I need throughout the day. And really, they weren't on my desk before, and I recently put them out. And I'm glad I did because I really just helps my feeling, my focus, my effort, and feel like this sounds weird, but it feels like I've got someone on my side throughout the day, a bigger part of myself.
It was, I know, I agree with that. When I stayed, I was talking the other day, we were talking about herbs. And I think it was for Soultopia Sensation. Roger was doing a video on herbs, and I said, he brought up pine. And when I was still working at the law firm, but I was working there after my divorce, so I was still working, where the same kind of felt like I wasn't really welcome in my workspace, right? So to speak. And I had pine, and someone had told me, they did a reading for me, but she also knew her herbs really well. And she said, get a pine candle, but also use pine, sage, go around and use it. It's good for bringing in money, but it's also good to ward off anybody who has ill intentions towards you or anything like that. So it's this perfect thing, protection in my workspace. So that's a way that I used, things at my job, but I would do it before anybody got there because it was in, a law firm where, first of all, you weren't even supposed to be burning candles in the building.
Right.
And I would burn the candle. And then I remember I bought all this stuff because it was legal, and I don't think I really knew what I was buying, but I thought it was cool. So I bought all this stuff that said, legal case, whatever, the candles that say that, legal case, whatever.
Right.
And what's funny about it is, who knows, because I wasn't setting any intention. Me and candles, who knows what my intention was. I was probably losing every case because I wasn't setting any intention with what I was doing. But we got new candles in, Laura, and they're amazing. They're from Atlanta. I don't think you've seen them. You want to tell her about the company?
Oh, Atlanta Candle Company. Well, they make a lot of different ones. Which, by the way, he called me today and said, "Hurry up and order tonight because everything went live this afternoon."
Oh, okay. Well, what I was going to tell her was about the alleged.
Oh, go ahead.
You want,
No, that's your story. You and Wes.
okay,
Make
so
Wes come on here and talk about that one.
we get the candle, the tall 7-day candles, Laura, and that have these are silk screened. They're really nice out on the front of them. But at the top, we noticed on a lot of them, it says, it'll say, evil go away or something like that. But these say alleged evil go away. Or it'll say alleged protection from enemies. It's like it has a disclaimer. It's like their lawyers told them to put the word alleged up there so we got a good laugh out of that because somebody told them, no, allegedly you're going to call your lover back to you. Allegedly you're protected from evil. But it's pretty funny. But they're great. Funny. Yeah, they're great candles though.
Oh yeah. Burn great.
Yeah.
So what other practices you have every day that you do?
So, what's funny is I feel like it's been, I've been at this job since December, and I kind of dove headfirst into it, and I've really been kind of just running at top speed. And it's been only recently that I've kind of slowed down and tried to kind of recapture and regain some of the skills that I had. I think I've not forgotten them or thrown them aside, but I've just been so overwhelmed between the kids and work and just the new job and learning and being thrown into a lot of positions at work that I don't really understand, but I kind of have to learn my way through. And so just recently I started, like, I rearranged my tarot collection. They're right over here. And today, and this is kind of, a fact, I was looking for the cards I usually read with, and I couldn't find them. And I had to think, when was the last time I used them? And it was December. And it took me 2 hours, and I scoured the house. I actually missed a conference call because I was in the midst of hunting down these cards, because I was so crushed that I had lost something that was so important to me before. And I found them. They were tucked away right where I felt like I probably thought I would remember them. But just the daily practices, I feel like I've gotten out of those. But the more, I don't want to say desperate, but the more complex my life has become, like, the stress of a quota. Not desperate, but the more I've searched for how to, not bring myself good luck, but to guide myself along. And because I have kind of, not been practicing a lot since December, just last week, I think, Roger, I told you I did a money spell, because there's this big deal that I'm trying to close, and I did a little spell for prosperity and for money, because I really need the deal. It's a huge multi-million-dollar deal. And I thought, I mean, I believe in this. I've believed in it before. It's for good. It's for the benefit of everyone. And so I started doing that. And I started thinking, why did I let all of this fall by the wayside? And I don't think I did it intentionally. I just think I got overwhelmed with working with the kids, and with my, just trying to have a personal life of some sort. And so I've just kind of rekindled a lot of the practices that I used to do. I rearranged my cards. I found my beloved cards, and I have them here on my desk. But I put all my favorite ones right next to my desk. And in my new desk, I found my trusty favorite pendulums, and they're in these little bags. But I put them in my desk, and it's very comforting to have them right here for me. Like, if I need an answer, if I'm looking for guidance, it's a form of praying. I mean, everybody, I pray, of course, but it's a different kind of prayer. It's kind of a self prayer. And so just working these little things into my daily routine have been very, very comforting to me. And I've been trying to burn incense more. Dragon's blood is one of my favorites. So I was burning that the other day, just to kind of clean the air, fill it with a scent that is pleasing to me and calming to me, and really reminds me of the store, which is a place that was very important to me. So I think it's about, if I had to look at some practices, if I was recommending to someone how to blend your corporate world with your personal world, or your spiritual world, or whatever that looks like, I think, looking at your workspace, and then making sure that feels right to you, having things in your tools close to you and beside you that make you feel more of who you are, and then looking at some of the rituals that you can do to incorporate into your life, that make you feel more powerful. Like, if it's a money spell or prosperity spell, or whatever that is, try and work those into your life. And I think it also kind of grounds you and reminds you that you have other skills. Because I'll be honest with you, my job is a lot of intuition, and I question myself constantly. I feel like that skill for me has been dulled, just because of the mundane kind of everyday tasks that I'm doing. And so I started to question my intuition and my insight. And this is really helping me go back and trust that more, and feel more confident in my professional life. So not, your workspace, I think it's, having things close to you that are important to you, that make you feel more grounded, working in little traditions that you have, or, spells or prayers or whatever it is. And then also letting, finding some way to keep that intuition sharp. Whether it's reading cards or whether it's just trusting yourself more, giving yourself more self-confidence.
Right.
Because it's very, very easy to get lost in technology. And we forget kind of the skills that we have at our fingertips, and those can get dull. It's like a muscle, right? Like if you don't flex it, you don't work out. I feel like it gets weak. So I haven't had a lot of confidence in my intuition and my insight, and just trying to gain some of that back.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but that's I agree with you that I think we should exercise and stretch that intuitive muscle. But for you, that even when you weren't, I met you and immediately knew that you had incredible psychic senses and psychic awareness and intuitive insight, right? I mean, remember, I knew immediately, and we clicked immediately when I met you, because it was not because of that. It's because you're a great person, but you should never question your intuition, because
thank you very much.
We miss having you at the Soultopia Sensations. I mean, you were talk about. I appreciate you saying it's so important to you here, and we have a lot of people. You're one of the most loyal friends and people. A lot of people will show a couple of things from Soultopia and then and I got this from this store and this from over here and this from over here, and I'm like, oh, thanks. And Laura, thank you for showing all this stuff from Soultopia. I think another thing that's important that you mentioned is that I don't think there's anything wrong with. This is a question that comes up with a lot of people that are in both worlds. They feel like they have to, that they're being inauthentic if they are, let's say, a reader, or they have real strong, which you are, but you're not doing that right now, every single day, but you are a reader, and they feel like, oh, I'm being authentic if I don't tell every person, what I'm doing in my corporate world. And I've tried to tell people, you don't have to do that. It is fine to keep those things totally separate. It's not being inauthentic. Can you speak to that? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't think it's being inauthentic. I think that, regardless whether we like it or not, that there are social norms and professional norms and rules that we abide by. And I don't think that you're being inauthentic or compromising your integrity if you don't tell everyone, you're a reader, or you're a psychic, or you're a witch, or whatever it is. People are going to judge you in your personal life and your professional life, no matter what you do. But professionally, it's not always the time to tell your customer, oh, by the way, I'm psychic, so I know what you're going to do. I just, I look at it as kind of a superpower, right? Like you have this superpower and you can use it to your advantage, and it's a gift. And it's kind of fun knowing that you have this secret. It's not a tawdry secret. It's another part of your life. It's your personal life, for Christ's sake. I mean, I think everybody's allowed a personal life. Just like everybody, people there's different religions, people believe in different things. They knit, they play tennis, they read cards, just because you play tennis, are you going to go around and tell everybody that you play tennis in your personal life? I mean, I think there's a time and a place for everything. Right. But I look at it as I have a superpower, that this is my day job, like Batman, Batman is Bruce Wayne, and then Batman has his own personal life. He goes out and fights crime. Right. So I don't think that at all. And I think that anyone that thinks that you are, I don't know. I just feel like there is a time and place for everything. And it's like the tennis analogy. Like, do you work that into every conversation? Right. No, you don't. Just like Roger was asking me about the sign earlier too, I think there's also certain considerations. I mean, you not only, especially when you are part of a corporation, They expect you to be a good corporate citizen and that you're a representation of that corporation.
Good
And that
point.
you abide by their beliefs. Not, I don't want to say belief system, but their
Ethics.
visions
Their
and
standards.
values,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
And so having a palm reader sign in my office, does that really align with my corporate vision? Probably not.
Right.
So I got to rethink that.
Right.
And it's not because I'm a hypocrite. It's because that I am an ambassador of my company when I'm on the clock.
Absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree with you.
You got to
by
meet the
way.
right balance between work and life.
And so
Yeah.
I'm glad you explained that to people, because I think there's some people that it literally think, they put that on people. And so I'm glad you explained that those are separate. It's just like, a lot of people will not talk about religion. And it's rude. I know my German friend, my relatives from Germany, it's rude for you to say, where do you go to church, or what, talk about politics, ask them what their politics are. That's very rude to do that. They just don't, you just don't go there. And it's just, like you said, it's your personal life. You don't walk right up to somebody in a business meeting and start saying, well, most
Hey,
people
I'm
don't.
Catholic.
Hey, I'm Catholic. What are you? Most people don't. I don't know. I started thinking about it, saying, I think I know some who do, but I don't think that's the.
It's not the appropriate way
I
to
don't
do
think it would
things.
be appropriate. Well, do you want to? Do you have any other tips for us, or do you want to do a few, just a couple readings?
We can do a few readings.
Yeah,
That was my biggest tip. I just feel like don't do a disservice to yourself by thinking you have to wear your personal life on your sleeve.
Yeah.
Because a lot of companies don't go for that, and everybody needs a job, especially now. So don't think that you have to share everything about yourself. You're entitled to your personal life, and you're entitled to boundaries, and you should have those boundaries. Yeah. Don't do yourself a disservice by doing something that's going to get you fired, quite frankly.
I agree with you.
So.
Well said. All right. Do you want to? What cards are your favorite cards, by the way, Laura?
Oh gosh.
I
have. Let's see. I think. Well, I can't remember the names. Let me show you. Hold on. These are my faves. So the Witch Tarot is by far my favorite. But I have the ones I pulled tonight are these. The golden. I can't remember
gosh.
the foil, the gold foil.
That's exactly
Laura,
what she just pulled.
I just pulled. I'm reading with the exact same thing.
Oh my gosh!
Synchronicity.
Yeah, synchronicity.
Yes.
These are so beautiful. I pulled these tonight just because, and they're so glamorous.
So guess what, Laura? They're coming out. This is the black and gold edition. They're coming out with the gold and black edition. The reverse.
Wow.
So it's going to be black with gold. It's the reverse.
With gold.
And we ordered them. So I'll have to get you a deck when they come out.
Yeah, I would love some. And then the Witch Tarot. And then I have these I can't remember. These. Can you see them?
Oh, I remember, but I can't remember.
Santa Muerte.
Oh yeah, Santa Muerte.
That's what they are. These are gorgeous. So I have my three favorites, and I swear to God, when I couldn't find them today, I was convinced someone had stolen them. But I mean, who would steal tarot cards? So I was like, oh my God, did I leave them in a bag? And I was cleaning out my trunk. And
let me just tell you, as the owner of Soultopia, people would steal tarot cards, unfortunately.
Well, yeah.
They have been known to walk. All right.
But they become so special to you,
Yes.
and I was just heartbroken. But I found them.
But let me just also say, there's not good karma in stealing tarot cards.
Right.
All right. So, Roger, I see you have some names down. We're going to do lightning readings. You know what that is, lightning round, Laura. And the first person we're reading for is
Nikki.
We're reading for Nikki. And we will just each pull one card if we can. And we will go around. Is there a specific question or just general?
They just said they wanted
We're
a
all
reading.
shuffling now, you
They
guys.
just said they wanted a reading.
The big ritual of shuffling and setting an intention. All right, so here we go. I hear those. The twins are beautiful. I won't say their names because you didn't choose to do that on
You
live.
can hear them singing
Yeah.
Baby Shark.
Yep.
They're running up and down the
Did
hallway.
you have to? Did you have to? I'm going to sing that all night now. that earworm all night long is going to be in my ear. Okay. All right. Okay. Are you going to go first, Roger?
No, go ahead.
All right. Okay, I love to go first. All right. So, Nikki, there's something that you've been working on. I drew the devil card. Okay. So, but what's interesting is I'm drawn immediately to the as above, so below. So the one hand up with the devil, and he has the one hand up, and then he's actually doing some sort of mudra, whatever that is. Allison Denicola is going to be on our show in a couple weeks, and she's actually coming to the store at some point, and she's going to teach us those. But whatever that mudra is, I should know. And then he's also holding a torch down. So it's as above, so below, and I'm drawn to that for you to. It's like you're very, very grounded, and you need to allow yourself to get up in you're very good at all your psychic abilities and things like that, but just to be blunt, to be in your spiritual meditative space a little bit more is what I'm getting for you, Nikki. Whatever that is for you. However you meditate, there needs to be a little more time spent with that. I know you have it. I don't know if this is the same Nikki, but the way you spelled it, I think it is.
Yep.
She got a beautiful new dog. I don't know if you've seen her dog, Laura. Nikki's dog. Anyway.
Oh.
So she's been busy, but you need more time meditating. All right. That's my read. Laura, you want to go?
Yeah. So I got the High Priestess. Another major. I feel like Nikki, in the next few weeks, we've been talking a lot about work, but I feel like in the next few weeks that you're going to have to maybe take on some more responsibility or a new role. You might be asked to take on a new project, and I think it's something that maybe might leave you feel like you don't have enough time. That you have too much on your plate already, but I feel like this is something that you should take on. This is going to be kind of a defining moment for you in your life, or push you in a new direction. There's something new coming along with work.
Okay.
That's what I think it is, and I think it's a time for real change for you with work, professionally.
Okay. Roger?
I got the Page of Swords, and Nikki, what came to me when I saw this card was just cut through the bullshit. Pretty simple. At work, cut through the bullshit, get straight to the work, and don't mess around with the other stuff.
Okay. All right. Well, that's cutting through it right there. All right. Who's next?
Mary.
Okay.
And by the way, a lot of people did say they wanted readings. We may not have time to get through to everybody. Just so
if we keep them really short, we can let's try to go short. So I'll go first. So Mary, what I get for you? Okay, so Mary, I get the Knight. I just did that hard T. I was trying to not say 9. Knight of Pentacles, and I get for you. I'm gonna say it bluntly. The Knight of Pentacles often, when comes up to me, every now and then will speak to me of taxes and something with taxes. And that's my message to you. I don't know if this is about putting money aside or remembering that there's going to be tax involved, and make sure you take that into account, but it's something having to do with taxes. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Laura?
I got the 8 of Swords, and I feel like that there's, if you feel like you're kind of stuck in a situation where you feel like you don't have a choice, you do have a choice, and I think you're going to find that way out very soon. you need to do a little bit more thinking, maybe not feel so, I don't want to say a victim mentality, but like there's a way out for you. You just have to put some more thought into it and feel like that you can take your destiny, your life more in your own hands. Not everything is up to the universe, so you can certainly make some decisions and take life into your own hands and do more thinking on it. And I think that you're going to figure a way out of whatever is kind of holding you back right now.
Very good. All right, Roger.
So I got the Five of Swords, and Mary, one thing is that at times feeling defeated or kind of overwhelmed and defeated is very easy feelings for you. But take those little victories where you can, all the little victories, and let those things build up and take the energy from those and carry forward.
Okay. Are we going to do those, or do you want to have Laura pick a number between 1 and whatever?
Sure.
Okay, we're going to do 2 more?
Yeah, do 2 more.
How many are those? Laura, and here's what we're going to do.
We have 6 more.
We have
Laura,
6.
pick 2 numbers between 1 and 6.
Time out. So we have 6 more, and everybody listening, we're going to do 2 more readings. And so everybody listening, decide whether or not we're going to do 2 more readings for 2 people, but everybody else, pick a number yourselves. Don't get confused here. If the reading that we're reading for the other people, if number 1 or number 2 is also to apply to you at home. Okay, so at home, or like Matt, pick a number and don't tell us, but reading number 1 or number 2 is going to also apply in your life, okay? Y'all get it? All right, so now Laura, we're going to do 2 more readings. Pick, now this is separate because you're choosing who we're reading for. Pick 2 numbers between 1 and 7.
1 and 6.
1 and 6.
Pick 2 numbers between 1 and 6?
Yeah.
I would say 3 and 8.
Okay, so
we're sorry, 1 and 6.
1 and 6.
1 and 6.
I failed.
This is our corporate giant.
I would say 3 and 5.
Okay, so we're reading for people 3 and 5, but at home, you guys, we're going to do readings. Number 1, this is our first one. Pick that reading or pick the second reading. Is that clear? Did I make it clear enough, Roger?
Clear as mud.
Okay. All right. So, and that reading will be for you too. So our first reading is for Kelly or whoever picked number 1.
Kelly and number 1.
All right. I drew the same card as I had drawn for Mary earlier, but I get a different meaning. It is the Knight of Pentacles. And for this one, I get for, who is this? Kelly. I get, Kelly, you are turned, and for everybody who's number 1, you are facing in the right direction, and you're handling your money. It's okay. You've got it. You're turning in the right direction. It feels steady right now, but I get the words of my friend Monty Farber, and these are the words: secure your base. And for whoever picked number 1, I think financially right now, the most important thing for Kelly and number 1 people are to secure your base. Do not be frivolous with your money. Secure your base right now. Mm-hmm. Okay. Laura?
So I got the 8 of Pentacles. So this is for folks that picked 3 or 5. Is that right?
No, that's for people who picked number 1.
3.
Oh, pick number 1.
Which is Kelly.
Yeah.
And then we also have people who pick number 1.
Yeah. So Kelly and number 1. Yeah.
Okay. So Kelly, I'm just picking up a lot of work stuff today. So I think that, with regards to professionally, continue doing what you're doing, forge ahead. I feel like there might be some learning that you're going to have to do in the near future. You might have to adjust and adapt as well. Your job, your work, professionally might turn out to be not what you thought it to be. So I would be flexible and be willing to learn something new for longevity in your career. So always be open to learning new things.
Okay,
Short
perfect.
answer.
Okay, and so this will be the last one. Roger, read for Kelly. Did you already read for Kelly?
Nope.
Okay,
So I got
you're reading
Kelly
for Kelly and for
and the
people who
people that
chose number one. Mm-hmm.
So I got the judgment card. And Kelly, what I wouldn't have given if your name had actually been Karen. And I could have said, Karen, stop being a Karen.
Oh, that wouldn't have been nice,
That
though.
would
But
have been
okay,
nice.
go
But that
for
sure would have been funny, right? But
Maybe.
really, Kelly, think about it like this. Right now there is a lot of judgmental things probably going both ways, things like that happening out there around you. You know what? Take life to the best that you have in front of you at the moment and just live life and enjoy life, regardless of the judgments from other people or even judging other people.
it. Okay, so you weren't calling her a Karen. You're saying don't ignore the Karens.
Yeah.
Is what you're
But
telling
I thought it would be funny, though, if her name had been
gotcha.
Karen. I could say,
Gotcha,
don't be a Karen, Karen.
Okay, so for people number one, that
number
was your
one.
reading. So now we're reading for
Julie
and
and-
all of you who picked number two. I picked number two, by the way. I'm just going to tell you. Okay, so Julie and everyone who picked number two, and then we will wrap it up. Oh, my cards almost shot across the room. Matt, it would have been funny. They were heading that way. All right. These cards are a little slick, but they're easy to shuffle, right, Laura?
Right.
They're exactly the right size. I love cards that are playing card size, or maybe just
Yeah.
a little bit bigger. Okay, Laura, do you want to start? Because I haven't.
Sure.
Okay.
So I got strength, and I think for those folks out there listening, now is the time. I feel like there's some folks that feel a little bit betrayed. Now is the time to really look deep within yourselves, and remember not to take things so personally. I think that a lot of people are taking things very personally right now, and not everything is directed towards you. So just try and be strong and know that, you're safe, and, take care of yourself and be strong, but just try not to feed into the beast and take things so incredibly personally.
Mm-hmm.
Not everything is a personal attack.
Wow.
And I think that is easy for all of us to feel right now.
Yeah.
Very
good for number twos. No wonder I picked number two. And okay, that was also for Julie. And Julie, I'm going to piggyback on that reading. I got the judgment card that Roger just drew for the last reading, but I'm drawing this for Julie and number twos. And I will say, literally looking at this card, it looks like the old-timey description of what would happen for those of you in Revelations. Literally, I'm going to show the card. I don't know if you can go to it, Matt. Can you?
Matt can do
Okay,
anything.
Matt is talk about Superman. Okay, so and there, what I'm going to get is a lot of people are feeling like this is a time of reckoning. A lot of people are feeling like, what is going on in the world? And we are taking things. I agree with you, Laura. A lot of things personally, and it's like a personal attack, and everybody is on edge. And a lot of people are feeling. But what I get from this card is not so much judgment or even karma. It's but kind of the karma that there is going to be a reckoning. But just take inventory of yourself. Don't worry about anybody else. Just worry about your own inventory. What I mean by that is what's going on with you, not what anybody else thinks, like Laura was saying, or taking anything personally, but your own inventory and how you're handling things right now. The world situation is going to work itself out. I truly believe that. People wonder, but I truly believe it will. It's a hot mess, but just worry about how you're handling you right now, because you can't control anything else. Okay, go.
All right, so I got death card.
Wow.
Actually, the crazier thing was if you look, all three of us drew major cards. So if you think about it, this reading side is actually some major changes and things that are happening. That's
Pretty
what
heavy.
I kind of looked at here. Death doesn't mean you're dying. Come on, people. It just means transformation, changes are coming. So, and because we did all pick those major cards, I see some major changes coming in life for y'all.
All right. Did you not pick number two?
Hell no. I know you always pick number 2.
You didn't pick number. Yeah, if anybody knows me, that's my favorite number. So if they ever, they could totally rig readings. You know, when you do those readings and you do pick 1, 2, or 3.
She's always on pick 2.
If they especially like if they didn't like me or something, they could totally put like the Tower and the whatever card or the you whatever number 2. You need to get your shit together, number 2, because I always pick number 2.
So I got a funny story for us as we leave. Talking about corporate stuff, back 20 years ago when I was corporate sales, we were working for the corporate world way back then. Anyway, our sales manager decided to give us all these little 2-inch glass frogs, green glass frogs. He said, "Hey, this is good luck for y'all to sell more." Well, I already was sold a job a day anyway.
Ooh.
I went 2 weeks without selling a freaking job. I was in the middle of Kentucky driving down those little country roads. I literally rolled down the window and I chunked that frog out the window into a farm field and said, "Fuck you, frog." And the next day I started selling again.
That frog did not bring you good luck.
No, it didn't. So know what you're working with, people.
Yeah, set your intentions.
Yeah.
Set your intentions properly, because that definitely wasn't in my frog.
Poor
That's
little
funny.
frog.
Well, Laura, thank you so much for coming on. We miss
Thanks
you.
for having me.
Yeah. For those of you who, hopefully you'll be lucky enough sometime if Laura comes back and has time to guest read for us, or even reads. We read remotely from our house now, and I know you just want to do more Zoom sessions, Laura. I know you want to do more phone calls, so you'll just have to, after you've worked all day for your big corporation, you can take some readings for Soultopia from your house. And I
I need a green screen. I already have little backgrounds.
So Matt texted me what kind of green screen to get. So you might want to. I don't know if y'all talked about that, because he hooked me up already, because we're going to get one for in here.
Oh,
So
nice.
yes, they might want to talk after. But anyway, thank you again, Laura, for coming on.
Of course.
Yeah, it's so good to see you, and thanks everybody for joining us. You can follow us on SoulWhat on our Facebook page, and on Soultopia's Facebook page, on Soultopia on Instagram, and by watching Michelle, what is it? YouTube, Michelle
Soultopia
on YouTube. And also thanks as always, Matt Stoker, for running the ship and doing such a great job of keeping us in line. We really appreciate it.
Somewhat.
Yeah.
Somewhat in line.
Thank you for watching SoulWhat,
Good night, guys.
where we discuss what matters to your soul, and you get to decide what really matters to your soul. Good night.